friends, Jewel back with another super cool astrology video, and I wanted to talk today about the square between Venus and Mars in synastry when we see this super exciting aspect between two people. So Venus is what we love and our sensuality and our sense of how we behave and operate in relationships and what we want. Mars is very much how we get what we want. It is our principle of how we apply our energy, how we pursue our ambitions. And so when we see these two come together in synastry, we see the classic attraction between two people, between the two planets of love and sexuality. So when we have any aspect between Mars and Venus in synastry, we are going to see quite a bit of attraction, fireworks, and a certain amount of interest between two people. So the square is a very interesting aspect to have because of the amount of friction, fire, and energy that it stirs up between two people. I was watching Saturday Night Fever recently, and the scene where John Travolta approaches the dancer that he gets with and goes to the club and, does all of his stuff, all of his, all that. When they're first getting together, and he's showing his interest because she's looked at him, and then he's noticed that, and he's looked at her. And this is very, very much explanatory of how this particular square works, where he's being obnoxious and she's acting like, oh, I don't even see you, and then, eventually she gives in, and there's, this certain amount of friction between them, and it's very, very, very seriously describes how this goes down between two people. So it's one where Venus wants Mars, but she fights it, and Mars catches on and decides, well, I know you want me anyway, so I'm going to go for it. So it creates this really funny, competitive, somewhat combative energy between these two people that has them very stirred up about each other. And there is a tension that comes into things when we have this particular square, because it's a very challenging aspect. Not challenging as in difficult, challenging as in I'm challenging you. And so it puts two people very much on rival teams when we have this particular square. And Venus very much sees the Mars person as very forward or arrogant, and Mars can find the Venus person too prim or denying. And it's what really contributes to this teasing type of energy that comes between the two of them. There's nothing about this square that is placid or calm. There's so much tension between these two that they just really want to go at each other in myriad ways. And so it's a hard one to live with on a long-term, everyday basis because of the amount of tension that it causes between two people. You tend to see Mars square Venus more in the charts of affairs, the charts of people who challenge each other in ways that, kind of irritate us, but at the same time, we're kind of attracted by that, and, we just really wish that they would leave us alone, but at the same time, we can't stop looking at them. And so it's just this funny, almost childish kind of interplay that comes up between two people. So there's not a lot of softness offered by this particular square. And over time, it can descend into friction just for friction's sake. So after the attraction can start to turn into more irritation, we can see two people, stop engaging so much in the teasing aspect and start just with the fighting aspect that comes with this. And so, you know, that Venus playing the game with Mars of come hither, no go, come hither, no go, and Mars playing that role of aggressor, and I'm going to hit you over the head with my club and take you back to my cave, and you're going to love it. No, don't please, but yes, please do. This can get old when in the context of dealing with this on an everyday basis. And so if you like a lot of games in your relationships, if you like a lot of competition, if you are, you know, if you have this yourself, natally, this particular square, this could be one that in synastry you might really enjoy. Most people have a more difficult time negotiating this particular square in a long-term relationship. So, you know, Venus is very much the prize that Mars wants to forcibly possess when we have this particular square. So there's kind of a lot of fun that can happen with this square, especially initially before we're really irritated with each other. So it's one that if we have, it's not going to go unnoticed. It has to be approached more carefully because it can be an irritating force if we're really going overboard with it. And it's one that is going to, you know, you're going to want to have more softer moon contacts or ascendant moon stuff going on there in order to balance out the competitive type of urges that this one really brings up into people. And you know, it's okay to have some amount of competition in a relationship, especially if you natally enjoy that. But the fact that this puts two people on two opposing teams and they both want to win is not conducive to getting along effortlessly in a relationship. We want to ideally be on the same team. So we have to come to an understanding that we just have a lot of tension and friction that is stirred up between the two of us because of the way that the other person responds to us and the way that we respond to them. And we have to have a level of maturity when we're dealing with the square, or else it really does descend into trying to poke each other's eyes out in the backseat of the station wagon while we're going off to vacation for summer. So we have to, you know, be more mature, and then a lot of times people actually can make the square work for them if, you know, it works for them natally, and if they are, you know, experiencing some other more intimate contacts between them in synastry. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please subscribe to my channel. You can find me on the internet at truthandaspectastrology.com. You can find me on Facebook at Truth and Aspect Astrology and Instagram as well. And yes, I do private consultation. I am mainly a relationship and intimacy astrologer, but I also interpret all types of charts under the sun. And I will be back super soon. Bye-bye.